Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about how to save money when planning your wedding. We all know that wedding is very expensive and you want to save money where possible. So the very first thing when planning a wedding is to come up with a budget. Now I've spoken to a few intending couples and asking them what their budget is. 9 out of 10 they are unable to tell me what the budget is. You hear phrases like I don't know, just tell me how much this is gonna cost and I'm gonna try to save towards that. That's not how to save when it comes to wedding. You want to know what your budget is. Now you might be asking, what's a budget and how do I know how to come up with my budget? Firstly, you want to sit with your partner, talk about how much you have in your account and how much you're willing to put down towards the wedding. So say for example, I have £1,000 in my account and I'm willing to put just £500 towards the wedding, and he has £1,000 in his account and is also willing to put £500 towards the wedding. So your budget for the wedding is £1,000, excluding gifts or promises that your family might have made to you. What you're working towards for that wedding is £1,000. So that's your budget. So when someone asks you what's your budget for the wedding, you're going to say, my budget for the wedding is £1,000. So after you've been able to identify your budget, the next thing you want to do is to prioritize your expenses. What I mean by prioritizing your expenses is to identify the things you are not willing to compromise on. So is it your wedding dress? Is it your photographer? Is it the venue? Is it the food? For me, for example, my wedding dress was something that I wasn't willing to compromise on. I wanted an amazing dress. Yes, I had a budget for the dress, but I was willing to spend up to that budget or more if needed, because I wasn't willing to compromise on that dress. I also wanted an amazing photographer. I wanted an amazing venue. So those are the things that I invested money into. So you need to know what you're not willing to compromise on and prioritize those expenses. Put money aside. Have a conversation with your partner. So point number 3, plan ahead. Try to get things on sale. Target sales. Target bundle deals when you're planning your wedding. So you've been able to identify these things not willing to compromise on. For the other things that you're not particularly too much bothered about, look for bargains, look for deals. For me, for example, my shoe wasn't something that I was crazy about. I didn't need to go and get the most expensive shoe or a designer shoe. I used Dune and I got it out of sale. So get things during the sale. Try to get bundle deals, especially if you're trying to collect things for your bridesmaids. This was something I did. I went into stores. I went to TK Maxx. I went to House of Fraser when Debenhams was still open. I went into Debenhams. I went online to see to look fantastic, to see what they have, what deals do they have. So when you see all those gift sets where there's like 3 or 4 lip glosses in a pack, buy that. By the time you open and put one in each boxes, things are starting to fill up gradually. So the other thing I'm going to say is DIY where possible. My DIY, for example, was Canva. When it came to printing, in terms of like your invite, your save the date, your table numbers, I used Canva. My invite was completely electronic, and thankfully we now live in electronic days where people aren't really bothered about physical invites. They are happy to take electronic invites. In fact, it's even easier for them because they can always scroll back through WhatsApp or scroll back through the emails and see the invites there, and they have all the information there. I was able to add names onto it either through you can use Canva to do that. I use an app called Photo, I think, and then everybody's name into it and sent it to them on WhatsApp. That invite was about £10, £16, I can't remember, and I was able to use it over and over and over again for all the guests that came on the day. 1. 2. Canva. Canva is a very useful tool. I'm sure if you've watched a lot of budget saving tips from of different videos right now, you would have heard of Canva over and over again. Canva is a very useful tip for anybody, not even for your wedding, for anything at all. You can use Canva for that. I use Canva for my sitting arrangement. I wanted the themed table name, so I used the fruit of the spirit to name all my tables, and I did that on Canva. When it was time to print it, I went to a local printer and printed it, and it was about £25. So my very next point is to make use of people around you. And this might sound a bit weird, but it's very true. People around you are really excited for your wedding, and sometimes you might actually have someone that who does something that could be useful for your wedding. For example, on my wedding, I didn't get a professional MC because I had a friend who does MC, quote unquote, in his church, and anytime there's an event, he's the one who does the MC. And I kindly asked him, do you mind doing an MC for my wedding? Now, he's never done a wedding MC before, but he was willing to help, and he did an amazing job. So this is something that I learned way back when I was younger, when I was working with a lady who was starting a TV show, and she needed a makeup artist. I was there, I was new, I only started doing makeup, freelance makeup. She could have easily gone to get someone, more expensive and be paying them to do her makeup, but she gave me a chance. Yes, there were days when they weren't as good, but the more opportunity she gave me, the more I was getting better, and she was saving money. She was saving herself some cash, especially when it's upcoming people. Yes, they might not have made a name for themselves, but they still have that passion for their job. And if you're able to see someone who's passionate about their job, give them a chance. If someone else is offering you a deal of decoration, for example, for £500, this person who you know personally, who is just upcoming, who just started, is willing to do it for £200. Yes, their work might not be as good, but that's where you come in. You might be able to guide them, to help them, to give you what you want. And that way, you've saved some money and you've helped another person to boost their business. So my last point is to save for unexpected expenses. Now, this was something that I personally didn't even do, but my husband did, and I didn't even know that he was doing it. Apparently, towards the wedding day, he decided to put aside a certain amount of money for just unexpected expenses on the wedding day. And yes, did they come up? Yes, they did. He didn't even tell me about it. I only heard about it like after the wedding. And you don't realize how much £10 here for Starbucks, or £2 here for breakfast, or quick taxi money here, or quick tip here. You don't realize how much those little things can sum up to a huge amount of money. And these were the things that this unexpected expenses were being used for. Transportation on the wedding morning. So in my own case, the transportation company that we had employed were running late, and my husband wanted to get to church as early as possible, so he had to ask a friend of his who also drove to take him to church, and as a result of that, paid his fuel. And that was from the unexpected expenses that he had put aside. So that will be all for this video. I hope this has helped you. If you are a previous bride or an intending bride, tell me what are the things that you did or you're doing to save for your wedding day. This would be really helpful to other people who will come across this channel and also want to learn a few tips. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to share, like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in another video. Bye guys.